So the topic that I'll be discussing today is on the quality in wine manufacturing, more specifically on what determines the quality of wine in wine manufacture. Well, to start off with, wine is an alcoholic beverage produced through the partial or total fermentation of grapes. And now here's a fun fact, right? The theory behind winemaking was actually discovered by accident because some of its grapes became spoiled and became fermented since the skin of the grape had caught airborne yeast and enzymes that turned the juice into wine. Now, due to this simple occurrence, today's wine is offered in many colors like white, pink, red, and it also ranges in its alcohol content too. So we have a lot of different types of wines, which include like table wines, which are like the normal red and white wine, rose wines, as well as sparkling wines like champagne. We also have aromatic wines, which are wines that has a lot of aromas to it, such as fruit aromas and different plants aromas towards it. And then we also have fortified wines, which are table wines but with like brandy or any other alcohols that is added. So with the different types of wines, do all wines have the same quality? Do they all have the same quality? Well, no, they don't, because all wines have different quality rankings towards it. Some wines or have higher quality, whereas other wines have lower quality. And to determine the quality in these wines, to determine whether it is high or low, these are normally determined by the colors, its degree in sweetness and dryness, its flavors, aromas, and its balance and complexity. Now, with the different flavors in wines, the more flavors that a wine has, the higher quality it would be. So this just shows that some high quality wines, they have distinct flavors composition in them, such as like plum, cherry, and vanilla. And because of this, once the drinker is able to take up these different notes and distinct the different flavor compositions in it, this type of wine is regarded as being of high quality. With the intensity of its flavors, the more intense the wine is, the clearer the drinker would be to identify it and distinguish the flavors present in it, which then gives off a good balance for the wine, since most high quality wines have a certain balance between the different flavors as well as intensity and tannins that are added into it, which then gives off a complex flavor profile and taste, producing a high quality wine. So the question still remains, what actually makes a wine better quality than another? Yes, these certain factors are taken into account when determining the quality of wine, but what actually makes wine better quality than another is the type of processes that are used to produce the wine that gives it its different taste and flavor. Therefore, the factors when determining the quality of wine are like the vine's environment, the vine species and varieties, the viticultural practices, and the vinification practices. And what this does is that at each process, it alters the taste of the wine to give it different aromas and different flavors, which then can determine whether the wine is of high quality due to this, or whether it is of lower quality for more commercial mass produce. Always remembering that most of the high quality wines are relatively more expensive, but this is because they take more time, more processes and different procedures in order to get the correct taste that distinguishes it from the other lower quality wines. So with the different grapes used to produce wines, all require different climates and temperatures. Like take continental climates where there are more short, warmer, dry summers with cold, severe winters, and the Mediterranean climates that are more hotter and drier. This affects the growth and taste of the grapes, but also affects the temperature levels in which these vines then need to undergo photosynthesis in order to reach its optimal ripeness. Now, temperatures also play a crucial role in the quality that is produced from these different types of grapes. Take for example, Sauvignon Blanc which which is a short cycle variety and grows better in more cool temperatures, while varieties such as Cabernet, these grow in more ideal temperatures that are much more warmer to produce a more better quality grape rather than the other qualities that are available. Also, the different types of grapes require different amounts of sunlight since the skin of the grapes can burn, resulting in a bitter taste, therefore affecting its quality. Another determinant for assessing or for determining a quality of wine is the species and varieties of the vine. So did you know that there are more than 60 different species of grapevine, in which Vitis vinifera is the only one that is used for winemaking? So with grapevines, there are usually ungrafted plants and grafted plants. With the ungrafted plants, such as the Vitis vinifera, this is where it produces a more higher quality wine since it has better aging potential and a more intense flavor when compared to the ungrafted plants such as the Chardonnay and the Shiraz, as these have totally different flavors and aromas. Another factor that determines the quality of a wine is the viticultural practices, and this simply is the different methods that these wine growers use to keep the vines disease free, which then makes all the difference between high quality and low quality wines. So when harvesting, the vineyardist inspects sample clusters of wine grapes with a refractometer, and this is used to determine whether the grapes have the certain amount of sugars in them to produce a certain flavor, as well as the amount of tannins required to produce a more vibrant color and aroma. Once the grapes are at optimal peakness, they are then picked and delivered quickly to the winery in order to limit oxidization, which diminishes quality by leading to a loss of color, aroma, and flavor. At this stage also, the number of grapes that are grown on per hectare of land is just as important to the quality of the actual grapes. This is because the fewer the grape branches per vine, the more intense the flavor will be. For example, a top quality wine, Burgundy, is produced at only 30 hectoliters, while lower quality wines can be produced at 100 hectoliters. So this now brings us to the final determinant on the quality for wine, which is the vinification practices. And what this is that it involves the maceration, fermentation, extraction, and aging of the vines in order to produce the actual wine with the different flavors and tannins and aromas. So at each of these stages, however, the quality of the wine can be altered and changed due to the different processes that are utilized, which differentiates high quality wine from the lower qualities. So with traditional maceration, this affects the quality of the wine's color and tannin level and is usually used for red wine. With this process, the grapes are crushed in order to release most of the juices and then are allowed to soak in it, in which the grapes then can release tannins, flavor compounds, and pigment in order to produce a more rich flavor. An example of a wine that uses this type of method is the Burgundy wine. Whereas during fermentation, the wine quality flavor is affected, but more specifically, the aroma. And this is what distinguishes the high quality wines from the lower quality. So to ensure that the aromatics are protected and given ample time to develop slowly, the winemakers usually try to avoid extensive skin contact during the crushing process. And what this does is that it helps to prevent the grapes from releasing excess tannin and additional flavor compounds that would mask the more subtle aromas that is achieved during the process. A high quality wine that uses this type of fermentation process is Haut Brion Blanc, which is known for its intense floral aromas. Afterwards, during its extraction, this affects the wine quality and intensity of it. So, after the grapes are crushed and the juice begins to ferment, here the winemakers then stir in the juice to extract even more flavor compounds to it by exposing the wine to as much oxygen as possible, which helps it to release more tannins and flavor compounds to give the wine its distinctive taste and aromas. Lastly, aging can affect a wine's quality by completely transforming the flavor of the resulting wine due to the different aging techniques that are used, which are barrel and bottle aging. Take oak for example. This adds a woody flavor to the wine. However, oak also includes a more spicy, smoky, and caramel aromas, as well as lowered exposure to oxygen while the wine matures. And what these barrels does is it ensures that a little of the wine comes into contact with the oxygen, and this in the end softens the resulting wine tannins, which gives off a unique flavor to the actual wine. So to wrap up, there are many factors that determine the quality of wine, which makes certain wines of high quality. And these are the type of grapevines that are used, as well as the different procedures and techniques that are done to be taken care of these wines in order to get a desired resulting taste. The varieties, as well as the different winemaking processes that is used to actually produce the wine, all affect the final quality that is produced from the wine. Thank you for listening, and I hope I didn't bore you to death but gave you some insightful information that you would use next time when purchasing wine.